From the W. Page Pitt School of Journalism and Mass Communications, your home for complete Marshall University news. You're watching MU Report.
Good afternoon and thanks for joining us for this second edition of MU Report 2020. I'm Aaron Dickens.
And I'm Fareed Tariq. We are a student-produced newscast of W. Page Pitt School of Journalism and Mass Communication at Marshall University. We air this broadcast not only on West Virginia Public Broadcasting, but also on YouTube. Now, on to our top story. Marshall students, like the rest of the country, remains worried not only about the flu, but also coronavirus. That seems to be increasing in intensity and reach every day. But students can take precautions to prevent illness.
The quarantine cruise ship full of coronavirus may seem a million miles away to an average Marshall student, but Marshall's health department says it might be a way more serious of an issue than what students think.
They're not really aware of how you get this virus, and it can be very serious. People do die from the flu. They've had young people, it's been on television, like 17-year-old I saw recently that passed away from complications from the flu. So it is very serious.
Students should take precautions to prevent from coronavirus, as more than 2,100 people have died and more than 76,000 are infected from the deadly virus.
A lot of students don't wash their hands when they use the restroom, and I personally see that all the time, and it's really gross. So just make sure you clean up after yourself.
Drink often water. It's just not too much. Just few a few cup of water, and also wash off my hands and get some wet as like a steam diffuser like this.
We're eating good and we're sleeping good and we're getting our flu vaccination. We're washing our hands. We're staying away from sick people.
Students remain concerned about the increase in the number of victims from the deadly coronavirus.
A shocking report about Marshall students reveals as many as 18% are what's called food insecure. Some who are hungry say they are embarrassed by that fact and find it hard to reach out for help. As Sierra Brown reports, at least one group is committed to bringing that number down.
Most Marshall students don't think anything about the basics like breakfast or lunch. But that's where Olivia Orchid struggles the most. She's hungry.
I would have school all day, which made it difficult. I didn't have money to get anything out of the vending machine. So it was really difficult to focus in class because I didn't have that brain power. I didn't have like food in my system to keep me focused.
Orchid's situation is actually not that uncommon. Marshall University officials say that students suffer from food insecurity and, like Olivia, may possibly be too broke to buy food. That's why Marshall's food pantry got started and continues to grow. Turns out, just like everyone else, students need free, fresh food.
We have just, over the past years, have noticed that more and more students are coming out saying that they are in need of help.
The food they receive is primarily through donations from food banks and campus groups that collect food from the community and students who are able to help.
The foods that we need the most, I think are like fresher fruits and vegetables, because a lot of people really like to have that. The only way we really get that is through Walmart distribution at the food bank.
Students can come to the food pantry once a week and get what they need based on the size of their household. Organizers say they're trying to keep the shelves stocked so they never have to turn anyone away. Sierra Brown, MU Report.
Volunteers say they want even more hungry students to come. The food pantry is open from Monday from 1:30 to 2:30 p.m. and Tuesday from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m. Most Marshall students usually focus on doing well in their classes and at least try to put in good study time. In most majors, the end of that journey tops off with a capstone course, a class that brings everything together and preps the students for the workforce. College is a place for students to learn what it's like to be in their desired career paths, such as companies like CSX or at their nearby hospitals. But as students pursue their degree, some of them do not feel like they're being prepared for the real world.
In ways it does, in ways it doesn't. I'm a sophomore and already they've helped me with my resume, and they're always trying to provide opportunities for internships and things like that. But ultimately I also believe that the only real way to be prepared for the workforce is to work in the workforce.
According to a study by McGraw-Hill Education, 6 out of every 10 seniors feel like they're not being prepared going into the workforce. but Marshall staff say this is due to not having real hands-on experiences.
I think one of the reasons that is because students are so focused when they're in school on going to class, getting good grades. We have so many seniors who come in here and they're panicked in May when they're graduating because they don't have jobs. But the reason they're not having jobs is because they just haven't had that hands-on experience.
But there is a way around it. Marshall staff say it can be fixed with internships and having more than just a degree.
Your degree doesn't make you special anymore because everybody else has that degree. It's important that if it puts you out of your comfort zone and you have to go to Washington, D.C. for a summer, or you have to go to Colorado for a summer.
Integrating yourself into the workforce can be difficult. However, searching for internships, part-time jobs, or networking can always help. It's also summer internship time, so be sure to check in with your intern advisor and career services to apply.
This next story is about giving back rather than preparing for the future. In fact, it's not only about giving back, it's about stopping the mad rush to the future to pay attention to the past. Mackenzie Watson has a story of cleaning up the Bethel Cemetery here in Huntington.
You should look at a cemetery in a positive light. It's not the, the creepy old, Halloween kind of thing that the image have. It's a place to celebrate life.
Bethel Cemetery was once overgrown to the point that no one could even tell the cemetery existed.
It looks really great right now. This entire hillside was covered in brush.
But the city of Huntington, Marshall University, and the landowner decided it was time to change that.
We're actually here uncovering the graves and finding a lot of unmarked graves too that we plan to use GPR to later on to verify that there's a grave there.
Tombstones and lives forgotten and buried under the brush, some marked with headstones and some marked by plants. But the living working to honor those who are gone, but it's only just the beginning.
I think there's a lot more work that needs to be put into this. You can see we haven't really covered out all the brush. If you go over and check out the rest of it, there's still a lot of work that needs to be done.
I'm really thrilled to see the progress that we're making, and hopefully the cemetery will get to the point where it can be easily maintained. Cemeteries are special places. It's a place to celebrate life, the people that were before us, and you could get encouragement from their lives in the struggles that we have in our lives.
Here at Bethel Memorial Park, or as some call it, the Hidden Cemetery, tombstones can be found dating back as far as the 1800s. But what cannot be found here are families remembering those lives, simply because they just can't get here. The City of Huntington, Marshall University, and volunteers are going to continue to work to make this cemetery once again accessible to the community and to those families who have people buried in the cemetery. That way they commemorate the people who are lost and celebrate the lives of those to come. Mackenzie Watson, MU Report.
The cemetery's owner says he's trying to get even more work in this summer because Bethel has been neglected for so long.
Most Marshall students don't give being in Huntington a second thought when it comes to school. However, but you can be sure city leaders think about it as a great deal. As Sebastian Morris reports, Marshall is a significant part of Huntington's plan for progress.
The city of Huntington saw a $6 million surplus in fiscal year 2018. Mayor Steve Williams says he plans for this trend to continue and that Marshall alumni won't recognize the city in 10 years.
Marshall is the heartbeat of the city. As Marshall goes, so goes Huntington.
I'm really been excited about the ways that President Gilbert has made sure that Marshall is highly involved in some of the most exciting projects going on in Huntington.
Students, staff, and faculty on campus all agree that Marshall is a key to success for Huntington and the greater tri-state area.
We have events all the time, especially through this office, the Office of Intercultural Affairs, and we have lots of friends in the community who come and show up.
And we also need to go out into the community and learn about our community because Marshall is just one part of the whole part of Huntington.
It takes money to run a city, and there's no denying that without Marshall University, Huntington would have a hard time meeting its financial obligation. Sebastian Morris, MU Report.
Marshall teachers, staff, and students pay taxes and spend money in Huntington. And the mayor says that income has helped the city through the years as other businesses have left or closed down.
You'd hope by now most Marshall students would put their plastics and cans into recycling instead of the trash. But as Sarah reports, Marshall is moving well beyond that important first step to make campus a more sustainable environment.
Recycling reduces the need for extracting, refining, and processing raw materials that create air and water pollution. It saves energy and reduces greenhouse gas emissions, helping to lessen climate change.
We also are starting the first commercial compost facility in the state, which that will bring in, that will save the university a lot of money on waste haul, and we should be about 70% waste free on day one when that gets up and running.
I think recycling not only teaches us to be conservative of waste, but to just appreciate what we have and use it one more time.
Recycling waste cans can be found throughout Marshall's campus, as well as a recycling compactor between Harris Hall and the Science Building. The EPA estimates that 75% of the American waste stream is recyclable, but only 30% is recycled.
You know, a lot of it has to do with where you live and the resources that you have. And unfortunately here, we can't recycle a lot of different types of plastics because we don't have anyone in the area that will take it. Right. So I'm working to reach out to other entities, such as, in Athens, Ohio, to maybe make a switch and take our recyclables there because they take everything.
Young adults ages 18 to 34 recycle significantly less than any other generation, according to the Institute of Scrap Recycling in Washington. Something as minor as recycling a bottle without a label or old papers are minor changes that could make a big difference for the future. Sarah Rowe, MU Report.
Marshall's bike share program, the Green Trail, composting, and the student gardens are a big part of sustainability. Already at work, leaders say it's no longer optional to take better care of the planet we live in.
It's nowhere near the end of the school year, but you can bet hundreds of graduating seniors likely have wall calendars where they mark off the passing days. And as Mike Dotson reports, most are either excited, nervous, or even both about their approaching conclusion.
After putting in years of studying, tests, and going to class, seniors are only a handful of months away from their goal of graduating college. And with that comes a feeling of excitement and anxiousness that is finally starting to hit some seniors.
I'm excited to graduate. I have enjoyed my 4 years here at Marshall and the connections that I made and the people that I've met, and I'm really excited to get out there in the real world and do what I've been longing to do for the past 3 years, and I'm excited about graduation because I'm ready.
With only a few months left, seniors can finally see the light at the end of the tunnel. But some students say they cannot get too happy just yet because they still have some work to do before they can finally be done.
I have a lot due at the very end of this. I am super excited to get it finished, but I also know that I need to do it to the best of my ability and not fall under senioritis, which I am currently falling under.
Seniors say that their time here at Marshall has been a fun one, and they will be leaving with memories they will keep for a lifetime.
Again, just kind of sad. Excited too though because we're all going to go our different ways and really grow and develop as people, and it really is like a rite of passage. It's something that needs to be done, and it's great for your personal growth, but it's also kind of sad at the same time.
With only a short time left, seniors are full of emotion, but they still know there is work to be done. Mike Dotson, MU Report.
One important item seniors forget is the run-up to graduation has deadlines along with it. Be sure to have a grad check and meet all the payment and paperwork deadlines on the way to Cap and Gown Day.
That's all the time we have for this edition of MU Report. Our newscast content is generated by students in the W. Page Pitt of School of Journalism and Mass Communication. MU Report is a television lab, and we're glad you're watching. You can always catch this newscast on YouTube, and be sure to follow our reporters on Twitter and MU Report on Facebook. I'm Fareed Tariq.
And I'm Aaron Dickens. Have a great day.